Hi, this is Steve from Steven Sherrard Plugins, and in this video I'm going to show you how to quickly set up sign-up sheets for your organization on your WordPress site. So here we have a totally blank new install of WordPress with the 2025 theme that they're now bundling with the new versions. So I have not changed anything. We're going to go into our plugins page. We're going to do add new plugin. And I'm going to search for volunteer. That's all I need to type in and wait a few seconds. This very first one that shows up is the plugins. This is my WordPress.org screen name, dbar productions. So we want this one, the volunteer sign-up sheets that has a little recording studio thing here. I'm going to install that. Give it a few seconds to install. Then we're going to activate that. Now that that's activated, we could go to the settings page through here, or you can see the menu item sign-up sheets. So let's just jump right into it. Let's go to add new to add a new sign-up sheet. And let's pretend we're going to have a staff appreciation lunch for our school staff. This is something we did a lot in our PTA organization when I originally created this plugin about 15 years ago. So I'm going to add a new sheet. I'm going to give it a title, Staff Appreciation Lunch. And then we're going to select the event type. We'll go through these at another video, but for now, I'm just going to select single because this is going to be a single date. And then I'm going to put in some reminders. The first reminder I want to send 1 week before the event date. And the second reminder I'll send 2 days before. And then we're going to leave all the rest of this the way it is. I'm going to enter the contact info. Here you would want to put whoever's in charge of organizing this event. I'm just going to put my name for now, Steve, and we're going to make up some email here, steven@demo.test. Oh, that should be a dot. Down here, you could enter some event details that will show up on that sheet page at the top of the sign-up slots. So let's just type something really basic for now, like we're having a staff appreciation, I can't type today, appreciation lunch, and would appreciate your help. That's all we need. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but you can put as much as you want there. So we're going to save this. We save that sheet, and then the next page is where we enter our task and our items that we need people to sign up for. So at the top, since this is a single date sheet, we have a date field. We can select our date. We're going to say this is going to be March 3rd. Okay, and then below here we have 3 default slots for tasks or items we can add. But you can always add more or take some away using the little plus or minus buttons. So let's just start adding some. First, let's say we need some people to help out to set up the lunch. So let's call this setup. And let's say we need 3 people. And we're going to have a 11 o'clock start time and end at noon, just in time for our staff to have their lunch. And that's all we need for that one. So then we need people to start bringing some stuff for the lunch. So let's say we need some main dishes. So let's say main dish. Let's say we want 5 main dishes. We don't have to enter a time for that. And then let's say we need some details on this because we want to know what each person is bringing to try to avoid duplicates. So we're going to check the box that says details needed. And then we want to make sure they enter something. So we're going to click on details required. And then here is a little text you can put in that'll show up above that input to prompt them what to enter, and we'll change this to main dish you are bringing. Okay, so then that'll be the prompt for a little text input field where they can enter whatever they're going to bring. So that's our main dish. Let's say that we also need some bottled water. And we want, let's say, 40 bottles of water. Again, we don't care about times, but now this one, we're not going to assume that each person is going to bring just one bottle of water. So for this, we're going to check this box that says enable quantities. Then when somebody signs up, they can type in how many they're going to bring, and that'll count against this 40 total that we need. Okay, but we still want some more, so let's click on this little plus icon, and we're going to add another slot here. And now let's say we want some dessert. And let's just say we need 5 desserts. Again, we'll do like we did with the main dish. We'll do details needed, details required, and we'll say dessert you are bringing. And then after all that's done, we need some people to clean up. So let's say clean up, and we need 3 people again, and we'll do that at 1 o'clock, give them an hour for lunch, and hopefully be done by 2. So there we have 5 tasks, and we can reorder these if we want by dragging them around. Say we want to have setup and cleanup at the top, we could do that. This will be the order that they will appear on the sheet. So let's do that for now, and make sure when you're done with everything, you click save. Things were saved. All right, so in order to see these on the front end, we need a page. We need a page for all of our volunteer opportunities, not just this one sheet. So let's create a new page, and we're gonna close all this stuff out that the 2025 theme brings up because we don't need any fancy template. I'm gonna call this volunteer. This is gonna be our main volunteer page. And then I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna find, I've used this recently, so this shows up right at the top, but you can browse and search for it, but just, you can search for sign-up sheets. Anyway, so there's a Gutenberg block built in. Then I'll show you a preview of what it's gonna look like on our main page. So we have our staff appreciation lunch sign-up sheet that we already entered. I'm gonna leave all this stuff set to default right now. We're gonna publish. Yes, I'm ready to publish. And we're gonna go view this page. So here's our very simple volunteer sign-up sheets page with that first sheet that we added. But let's go back now to the admin side for a second. Go into these settings for the sign-up sheets. Now that we set up a page, let's make sure we enter that page here, because this is where other links will be directed to, so we want to make sure that's set. And most of the time you can leave most of these default, but there are a few things that I added in newer versions that I didn't want set by default so it wouldn't change things on people's sites. But one thing you might want to check is to enable the mobile CSS so those tables will collapse properly for cell phones. And another thing, let's take off the phone field and remove phone field from the sign up form. I usually don't use that. We don't need to collect the phone numbers. The rest of the stuff we'll leave the way it is right now. All right, we're going to save those changes. And then I want to show you one other thing really quick that you might want to change before you publish your sheets. Is on the email settings page, you'll see all your templates for the various emails. You have your confirmation email, which is when somebody signs up for something, this is the email they will get. And we have these things in curly brackets that are template tags, and they'll be replaced by the appropriate information. And if you look up here to the right, there's this new template tag helper where you can see all the available template tags. If you click on one, it gets copied to your clipboard, and then you could type it in anywhere you want. You could paste it in like that, but I'm going to take that out because I don't want to do that right now, but just showing you how that works. You could also search here, which will narrow things down. So that's just a little helpful way when you're working on your templates, because there might be some things in the default that you don't want to see, and you might want to personalize it a little more. So you have a confirmation email template, which is when somebody signs up. You have a cleared sign up email if somebody clears one of their signups. And then we have our first reminder, the reminder sign up template. And then there's reminder number 2, which can be separate. If you leave it blank, it'll use the same one as reminder number 1. So you could have 2 separate reminder templates. And then in case you reschedule something on the admin side, there's also a template for a reschedule. And then there's some other options down here on how to send emails and who to copy them to if you want, or you can disable some of the emails. So we're going to leave all that blank for now. This will, by default, will be set to the admin email. And if you want, which I would recommend, this is a newer option, so it's not enabled by default, I would change this to say send HTML emails. Let's save real quick to make that change take effect. Now when your HTML emails are enabled, you get the full HTML type editor, and your plain text will get converted to line breaks appropriately before the email is sent, so you don't have to reformat everything. Okay, so let's go to the front side. Let's take a look at our sign-up sheet. Let's go to our volunteer page. We only have one sign-up sheet right now, so we're going to click View and Sign Up. Here's the details we entered, and then here's the different tasks and items that we entered. We have our setup, cleanup, main dish, bottled water, and dessert. So let's sign up for a few of these to show you how that works. So let's click one where we have to enter details. Let's do the main dish. So I'm gonna put my name in here. And I'm gonna say I'm gonna bring, let's say fried chicken. Okay, so that was that item details we saw, and I changed the prompt to say main dish you are bringing. So now I sign up, and we get a little message to say we've been signed up. If I go check my mail, here's the mail that I got using the default template. So you can see here's what I signed up for, all the details that I entered, the contact information, etc. That'll look better in a real email program. This is just a demo email catcher. So then let's look at the bottled water. We have 40 empty slots there. So here we enabled quantities. So since I already signed up for something, the next time I sign up, if I'm logged in, it'll fill out all my information for me. I'm going to say I'm going to bring 10 bottles of water. So sign me up. Same thing again. Now we scroll down to the bottled water. You see there I've got 10 that I signed up for. And now there are only 30 slots left, starting with number 11. Okay, so that's pretty much it. On the admin side, let's go back to our admin side. Let's go to the sign-up sheets. Let's go view all of our sheets. So here's our staff appreciation lunch. Now if I want to see who has signed up, I just click View Signups, and here I get this big table with all my columns and everything, and it's formatted by this jQuery plugin called Data Tables. So you can see there's my sign up and all my details that I entered. I can delete this if I want to as admin. I could edit it, and I can also move it if I want, but we won't worry about that. There's a lot of stuff you can do. We'll go into more detail on everything, but if I hide the remaining, then I'll just see only the people who have signed up, and there's only 2 signups that I did. So with this, if we disable the grouping, let's do that. Disable grouping, and let's pick which columns we want. We just want the date, the task, and the item. Let's say we don't want the start time and end time. We don't need the number. We just want the name and email. We're not using phones, so we'll turn that off. And we don't care about what time they signed up, so we'll turn that off, or whether or not it's validated, or the actions. So now I've nailed my table down to just the most pertinent information I want to see. Actually, I'm going to get rid of the task description too, since I didn't enter any task descriptions. So there we go. Now, if I wanted to, I could print this. We've got a nice print page that comes up if I wanted to print that out, or I could export it to Excel or a CSV file or save it as a PDF. You can move these things around if you want to change the order. So that's what you can do briefly from the admin side. And that's pretty much it for this introduction video. We'll go into more details on settings and options later.